Hello guys! So this is a little unexpected, but the Sims 4 team has just released the community survey for April 2020, and in this survey was something I was not expecting. I thought this was going to be the routine of, hey, how we doing? Where you kids like to hang out the most? Twitch or Twitter? And instead, it's a whole bunch of collections of potential future features for The Sims 4. And I know it's been a little while since we have dived into some Sims 4 adventures on our Pixel Biology channel, but I promise you that's not intentional. It's just because I've been so busy, getting the whole married thing out of the way. But I definitely am very excited to return to our Sims 4 adventures very soon, and I'm very excited to see where the team is potentially planning on taking the series, because they have really released pretty much everything you can think about when it comes to the routine sort of expansion packs that we have had in the past. And now we're going to start entering some new territory, so the rumors have said. And here is a survey, so hopefully we can get an idea and, of course, take the survey to give an idea to the team of what the future of The Sims 4 could be like. And I wanted to share this survey with you guys, and I really want to talk about it in the comments to hear what you guys think about some of the things that are being suggested, or about some things that you think aren't coming up here that you would really love to see, because I'm very curious about many of these. So without further ado, let's go down the list and we're kind of going to talk through what each of the options are, and then I will show you guys my ranking of all of these items, because I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to be honest with it. You can just take it or leave it. My vote counts the same as your vote, so don't worry about it, guys. Just go ahead and vote in the community survey, and what will be done will be done. But here we go. So please read the below featured ideas carefully. All of these really interesting ideas look like they could either be entire new features that could be added in as updates to the game, or they look like they could be future game packs, expansion packs, or stuff packs. In fact, I'm not really getting a stuff pack vibe from many of these. Everything that they're talking about are kind of like core feature changing things that would at the very least be a game pack, kind of like Magic was, beginning with the Culinary Quest, taking on the role of a master chef. This is kind of interesting because we already have so many different ways to cook in The Sims 4. We have cooking, we have baking, we have herbalism, if you want to count that as one of the cooking-esque skills, and we've got a lot of recipes. I always would love to have even more recipes, but this is super interesting for that concept because now it says create recipes. That's pretty appealing to me. I think it'd be really fun to be able to create your own family recipes. That would be so much fun if you could have like a family recipe you could teach to other Sims, and you could actively educate them about the recipes that like you have made up. How much fun would that be? Like, imagine a family cookbook that you could pass down through the generations. You could even leave it in the attic for a couple of generations and rediscover great-great-grandpa's best fish recipe. That would be like warm and fuzzy and make me super happy. And it'd be interesting to see how you would find the best ingredients. Like, maybe you could go to the shop and score some rare ingredients for the day, even if that was a rabbit hole. Like, you could send your sim running for ingredients, and maybe they could come back with a whole bunch of like super fresh ingredients that have extra boost and bonuses to them. And keeping your kitchen running through the dinner rush would be kind of interesting, because that implies maybe tying in with like the restaurant pack that we already have somehow, except taking the active role of being the chef. So I'm somewhat curious about like where that could potentially go. But at the same time, we already have a lot of cooking stuff, and I feel like with the right kind of mods, like Icy Mun Mun and Brazen Lotus both make fantastic recipe mods that I love a lot. You can already get new recipes. I don't know if anyone has made like Grandma's soup recipe from The Sims 2 yet, but I hope so. So I'm sort of content. We already have a restaurant pack. We already have tons of recipes. The modders are already on top of it with new ingredients and new gardening things. I'm kind of content with the recipe stuff. So unless there was something bigger, I'm not sure how I feel about Culinary Quest, but do let me know what you guys think. And the next one actually took me by surprise. Fan Club Creator. Immerse your Sims in fandom. Okay, fandom can be a great thing. It can also be an absolutely terrifying thing, as I've learned over the years. And this one I'm not, it's kind of vague because fan club and fandom means different things for so many people. And it says create fan clubs, collect rare memorabilia, and express your love, drive a craze that could take over the town. That's kind of interesting, but that sort of feels like a tweak on the get together club system we already have. We already have like quote unquote memorabilia, club specific memorabilia you can get with a fan club. You could make plenty of like fandom specific memorabilia by having a bunch of pictures of like a celebrity sim that your sims might be big about, or crafting a bunch of items that like the sims are really into. Whatever your like fandom is, like you could go ahead and duplicate the books. Like if a sim wrote a popular book series in your sim's world, you could have your sims go and buy those books from them. So I feel like there's already ways to do memorabilia. There's definitely already a fantastically efficient system with get together for how to do fan clubs, and you can already kind of spread popularity through a town through the get famous system. So I don't know. I don't know. Again, this is another one where I want to see more features. However, the NPC story progression. Now we're talking. Now this is where I got excited and knew I needed to talk to you guys about this. Because if we could actually make the neighborhoods come to life, I love using NRAS, don't get me wrong, or MC Command Center, excuse me. NRAS was for Sims 3. Sorry about that. But MC Command Center can be used to kind of get this story progression idea started, but I've not ever really had it work so smoothly for me. And this would actually be validated, like EA backed, and fingers crossed that means functional and really good, ways of progressing the stories of the Sims outside our households so that they could go ahead and be born, they could get married, they could go through different deaths. I would love to have that kind of drama naturally grow in my Sims worlds without me having to kind of hold every single NPC's hands and making it happen. So that would be amazing. Again, it's kind of sparse on the details, and again, there's already a huge modding community behind this exact feature. But what do you guys think about that? How good has MC Command Center story progression been for you? Is it just everything you could have wanted? Has it helped you to develop the NPC stories around your Sims wonderfully and naturally? Or do you think that there is room for kind of this competing version of story progression actually like in the Sims 4 game? I would love to know. So this is the one I'm most excited about, but also kind of like on the fence about, because we do have MC Command Center already, but I haven't played with it enough to know if it does everything that I want. So let me know, guys, let me know. The next one, the next couple honestly are kind of interesting because I'm not really interested at all. Shopping malls. That is ironic. I feel like, how do I put this? I feel like making anything about shopping malls right now is nostalgic. I feel like trying to get excited about shopping malls is trying to get excited about a fad that has come and gone and the sun is setting, especially right freaking now with everything that's going on in the world. Shopping malls are shuttering. They're closing down like across the country and across the world. There's a few that are hopefully, well, I mean, you know, there's a few that might make it. But I really think that most shopping malls are defunct. They're just no longer going to happen and they're going to be closing. Is that something that you want in The Sims 4? I haven't been to a shopping mall in over a decade, actually. It's been a long freaking time. And I just always thought that they were kind of like an environmental issue, sort of, you know, there's a lot of problems with shopping malls the more you learn about the real life aspects of them. However, is that aesthetic, is that appeal of hanging out and sending your teenage Sims there, taking your materialistic Sims and being able to walk from shop to shop, is that something you would be interested in, especially with a mall cop included? I could see that being kind of like a perfect setting for stories for some people, but is that something you feel has been missing for you? What about shopping malls would make you super excited? And then cheer teams are kind of in the same category for me. I was never involved in cheer. They didn't even offer it in my high school where I went. There was no cheerleading, there was no cheer team, which is going to be so tragic for a lot of people. However, maybe that's really something that people would want. It would be nice if we had more after school activities to send our sim teenagers to. You know, there's a lot of ways that that could go, but it's just not that appealing to me. If that was a big part of like a whole pack of more active after school things that we could send our teenagers to, I would be really excited about that. I really would. But when it's just one activity of cheer, it really feels like, okay, maybe if that was a 99-cent DLC, like enter $1, get one bit of a DLC, I'd be okay with. But what do you guys think? Because that one, it's not sticking the landing for me. However, life is hard. And making Sims feel the physical and emotional changes as they grow up would be really good for stories. Realistic reactions and emotions bring deeper connections to the world around them. Growing pains and life issues. This is so vague, but implies kind of what I've always hoped for from The Sims 4, really being able to focus on the emotions of the Sims a little bit more. Maybe being able to kind of involve ourselves just a little bit better in realistic emotions, like your spouse dying and you're sad for like 3 days and then you get over it. I want to see a lot more longevity to those kinds of emotions that should matter a lot more. Getting married, having a baby, someone in your family dying, your pet running away. The way that emotions are handled right now, I feel is really could be done a lot better. So I would love to see them developed more. I don't know if I just want it to be all negative things though. I don't know if I just want my Sims to be complaining about like, my bones hurt, like my legs are sore because I have growing pains from turning from child into teenager, or my back aches because I'm old. I don't know if I want to see more of those things, as much as I just want to see emotions make more sense and maybe be more tied to a Sim's personality in ways that feel more nuanced. That's a hard subject to talk about because emotions are very nuanced and because they're kind of slapstick. It's kind of like you piled on a whole bunch of post-it notes onto a sim and you don't really have a clear picture of a beautiful painting that their emotions could be in The Sims 4. But I'm not really sure how to fix that. So what do you guys think? How would you make emotions better in The Sims 4? And how would you introduce that with growing pains and life issues and kind of making each different stage of a Sim's life have more of an emotional undertone and pull? So what would you guys do to improve emotions in The Sims 4? I want to know because I think that's intimately tied into the idea of growing pains. Then there's some other suggestions that also caught my eye. Heist! Whether you're an aspiring Debbie or Danny Ocean, build your team to seek out and recover stolen artifacts to return them to their rightful owners. Can you execute the perfect plan, or will your team end up in the slammer? So I'm a little confused because on the one hand it says you'll recover stolen artifacts and put them to the rightful owner. On the other hand, it says you'll end up in the slammer. So we'll assume that you could either be a thief for good or for evil in this. I think that could be really cool. I imagine it might end up working a lot like maybe the Strangerville stuff ended up being, where you have a little bit of a storyline and you have to investigate different things. I think it'd be fun to add a way. It doesn't even need to be so dramatic as to like have a team, I think. It would just be really fun to be able to play as an active thief. And it would be kind of cool to have the thief, the robber, brought back into The Sims 4 because it's still missing. So that would be kind of interesting. Also, if you had like a network of thieves, or on the flip side, I don't see it here, but I've always thought that it'd be interesting to add in a network of kind of heroes that The Sims could have. So Heist intrigues me. But honestly, before we start leading a team of super thieves around the world, it would be even more fun for me just to be able to like actively play as a thief, just one thief. I'd be fine with that. Having a whole heist would be cool, especially if we get all sorts of fancy, super like high-tech items. That could be pretty fun. And especially if then you steal the items, you go home, you curl up in bed to relax for the night, and the alarms go off because you are now being heisted. So, you know, karma comes around, and if this included the thief coming back to The Sims 4, I think that'd be fun. And then there's modern love and romance. This also is a huge fundamentally gameplay improving thing that I think could be done for The Sims 4. And I'm not talking about the digital dating. I'm talking about having a wide variety of different taste preferences, desires, the like turn on, turn offs, the personality pieces that we had from The Sims 2. I would love that just to come back so that my Sims had different influences on whether or not they were attracted to someone. That alone is all I want from this. So that instead of just having to kind of close my eyes and pick a townie at random, my sim would kind of give me a little bit of feedback by being like, whoa, I really like that blonde, like bookish geek over there who loves the color blue. Like, if that was what really made them excited, then it'd be so much more personality for each sim. And it would make each journey to try to find a sim's love life have sort of a sense of completion more exciting, wouldn't it? Especially if they did have ways, just like in The Sims 2, where they could change their preferences over time. And it would be really fun if, like, we had the attraction bolt system back. Those would be real fun, because so many times in The Sims 2, I would have like maybe a 2-bolt couple or even a 3-bolt couple who really loved each other. But then maybe one sim had a secondary aspiration of romance and another 3-bolt person came by, and they would constantly be flirting with each other without my controlling them because they were triple bolters. I think that would be so fascinating to bring back into The Sims 4. That instead of the casual, like, oh, a sim is feeling flirty just out of the blue because they walked past this painting, so now they're going to flirt with my sim, if it was based on an actual attraction system that kind of pulled the two of them together like magnets, that provides a lot more story depth and personality to my Sims. I'm not really, I could take it or leave it when it comes to relationship types for Sims. They've been talking a lot about adding in like poly relationships or adding in, gosh, I can't even remember the other examples that they gave of different relationship statuses, like open relationships. I think that'd be great for the people who wanted it. It just seems like you could already kind of do that with The Sims. So it's more for me about the attraction system. And then the final two things, well, American high schools, cafe cliques, racy relationships, and SAT struggles. The halls all are alive with the sounds of drama. Thanks, I'm good. No thanks. If it was a school system for both the children and the teenagers that I could actively participate in, that'd be really fun. If it's the idea of racy relationships with teenagers, between teenagers, I have no interest in pursuing that level of anything. That's no. And I just don't want the American-centric high school system because I think that there are better systems out there. And that my teen's life, this teenage life stage has so much more to offer than drama. Adding in a hefty dose of drama would be fun, but I really think that they deserve to have more personality before I like set them into a room full of like cliques. No, I would like to leave cliques. I would like to leave the high school system, and I would like to leave, like, you know, the shopping mall idea back in like the 90s and just move on. There are new developments and new ways of seeing the world, like homeschooling. I would rather have this be a homeschool system. I would rather have this be a active boarding school system where you could send your children to boarding schools, and then maybe they were stuck at that boarding school, and maybe it was a small world that just had 2 or 3 lots. I don't mind. But if you could go and then be part of that boarding school world, imagine if that's how they brought back horses, where you could only ride horses at the boarding school, and you could send your Sims to go, your teenage Sims to go to a boarding school that has equestrian studies. If I could go actively participate in a like foreign boarding school where like that was the only way to be able to actively play a school, I'd be totally fine with that. Think of how fun that could be. Then you could even have your sim like child end up picking up like another language, the way that you can pick up other languages, or at least one other language and its culture with Salvadorian culture. That would be really fun. So see, there's a lot of other ideas. Homeschooling, like online schooling, that would give us more flexibility with how to raise the kids and they're not just gone all day, or make them gone all day with a boarding school system that I would like to do rather than the American high school system. An exchange student program. That would be really fun. Send a kid away, get a kid. End up like hosting an exchange student and getting calls from your kid and then going and playing a different family and your kid's like hanging out in Sulani, like for their high school term. That would be really fun. So no, I'm okay leaving American high school concept in the dust. And then finally, bands, go solo or build your supergroup, find your style, and perform your way from YouTube celebrity to sold out stadiums. Feel the pressure demands of keeping a band together, record company demands, and the needs of your adoring fans. I could really leave it, I think. That one I like more than, American high schools and some of the other stuff, but that doesn't really tell me what kind of instruments could you play. Right now we've got a guitar. Woo! We've got a piano, we've got a violin. Are we going to introduce some new instruments? Are we going to, how would the stadium work? It's rare I see more than a dozen Sims gathered in a place. Are we going to be playing to actually a packed out stadium? Are we going to be playing to a rabbit hole? Are we going to be playing on stage looking out in a wave of actual Sims? Are they going to throw things onto the stage? I need a little bit more here before I figure out if I want to go for this band thing or not, especially because you can kind of already make famous Sims and a fan system with the Get Famous pack. So, but alright guys, I'm busy arranging all of these to see which ones I actually am most interested in. I'm not done organizing it yet, but I've rambled on long enough. I have a lot more thoughts than I thought I would about the future of The Sims 4, and now I want to turn it over to you guys. I'll let you know if there's more on the next button once I am done organizing all of these, but there probably isn't, and I just want to know what you guys think about all of these options, or what options you think would make the game even more exciting and take it into even more directions. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully I will have our own Sims 4 adventures back soon to share and enjoy, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye! Whoops, it was not bye-bye. There was actually a bit more to share with you guys. Please rank the following locales, with 1 being your most wanted and 10 being your least wanted. And the options, my friends, are Costa Rican rainforest, yeah. Chinese countryside, holy cow, of course! Italian vineyard, Spanish city, Korean city, Swiss mountain town, Brazilian beach town, Scottish highlands, oh my gosh. Where'd the Scottish highlands go? There they are. You guys can go up to position number 3. The, let's see, Brazilian beach town, South African city, and Greek islands. Ooh, okay guys. I know which one I am going to vote for the most. Fingers crossed that this may be some new worlds or some new places, the way it's listed, to potentially visit as vacation areas. I would really love to see some of these, even though we have already seen things like the rainforest with the Salvadorian edition of Jungle Adventures, and even though we do have a Chinese countryside in World Adventures for The Sims 3, there's so much potential. A Korean city might be really fun too. Oh gosh, all right. Let me know which one of these cities you would like to visit. Ooh, and we have a little bit more. Every time I think that it's gonna be finished. Okay, so next up is on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. How interested are you in The Sims T deepening the existing content below? Long-term desires, which, as you guys may remember from me, are best represented in the aspirations and lifetime wants from Sims 2 and 3. I really don't feel like the little aspirations that Sims and Sims 4 have count, because they're usually more like career-based. I would like to see ones that are maybe more developed on personality. Then there's also developing traits over time, which sounds really cool. Emotions definitely need a huge overhaul. Control of Sims that are not currently on the active lot, not really. Short-term desires, I think that could definitely use some tweaking. Consequences of making or breaking relationships, that would be really fun to tweak. Connections to family members outside the household, absolutely. Being born with traits, that might be really fun. Family evolution outside the household, Totally. So once I knock off which ones of these interest me the most, I'll have to arrange them from most wanted to least wanted. And of course, let me know which one of these you guys are most excited about potentially seeing developed too. And good news, the survey is still continuing. I'm kind of in shock because I thought it was going to be a short one like they usually are. And instead, we're here ranking the life stages we would like to see additional gameplay for, with 1 being our most wanted and 6 being the least wanted. My vote personally is going to be babies, children, then toddlers, then elders, then adults, then young adults, because I would love to see the baby be able to break free of the bassinet, and to have children and toddlers and, and maybe an elder. Okay, we're gonna wiggle the elder up. There we go. No! Okay. Oh my goodness. There we go. Ah, no, young adults, get down there. You get everything, young adults. You don't need anything more.